All right, we're joined now on the bracket breakdown by our good friend Tim O'Shea, former Bryant and Ohio head coach. Tim, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, pleasure to be here.
You've had some pretty good success over the years. All right, let's take a look at the bracket, and we're going to start with the seeds that are the #1 seeds. So the presumptive favorites to come out of their region, but you don't necessarily think that's the case this year, do you? Some, maybe.
I like Gonzaga to get to the Final Four. I think Michigan was a no-brainer for the seed, but they've had a late season injury that's going to impact them quite a bit, I think, once we get to the tournament. Baylor's had a great run, clearly #1, and Illinois has played really well in the Big Ten. So they all make sense, but the 2s, the 3s, and there's even a 4 I see getting to the Final Four, making a strong run. And what I look for are teams that have pros. So when you think about Oklahoma State and Cade Cunningham, the #1 pick, almost everybody feels unanimously, I picked them to get to the Final Four because they have the #1 pick. And, when you look for upsets, you look for teams that have a great player.
Now, when you're filling out your bracket, you just said having pros, you like teams that are on their winning streaks, maybe winning their conference tournament. So before we get to some Cinderellas, the novice person who's sort of paying attention but not really, what do you tell them about this?
Well, it's a lot of fun, but you look for teams that are hot. I mean, for example, it's been an unusual season. Not everybody's played a full schedule. So a team like North Carolina, for example, had a lot of young players, is playing their best basketball now. Weren't playing so well early on, but clearly have a ton of talent. They're a team that I think could make a run late here, with all that young talent. Oklahoma State, the same thing. All right, so I'm going to ask you for some Cinderellas. I consider these any team 10 seed or higher to at least win their first game. So we're going to put these up now, and Michigan State's a first 4 game with UCLA, 2 blue blood programs. You have them as a team that you think can make a little bit of a run. It's shocking to see them as a #11 seed, but clearly a few years ago we had VCU go from that first 4 game all the way to the Final Four. You have Michigan State playing UCLA as 11 seeds. I like Michigan State to win that game, and I think they could make a deep run in the tournament. Same with UCLA. If UCLA wins that game, they also can make a deep run. So whoever wins
that one you like.
It's sort of an anomaly to see those teams in that with that type of seeding. Ohio U, my old school, they have a pro at the point guard position, a 6'4" kid, Preston. Really a great player. They're playing Virginia. I like Ohio's chances. I saw them play in the MAC championship game last night. They're really good. They shoot it. They're athletic, and they have a pro. Georgetown's an obvious. They're playing well. Just won the Big East tournament.
Patrick Ewing. They'll know who he is at Madison Square Garden now.
And the 4th one we had up there was Winthrop. Villanova lost the Big East Player of the Year, Gillespie. They're not the same team. That's why. And I don't even know anything about Winthrop. But I believe they're 24-1. They have an incredible record.
Had a good year.
But Villanova's not the same
over
team.
Villanova. Wow.
Well, they're not the same team without Gillespie.
And a lot of teams, like you mentioned, coming out of COVID pauses, Virginia, Kansas, teams that had to stop prior to the end of the conference tournaments. All right, moment of truth for you. Let's get your Final Four, and then I will give mine. And everyone will make a ton of money going to Twin River using the RI Sportsbet app.
I like Gonzaga getting to the Final Four. Then after that, I have no #1s. I have Alabama, terrific season in the SEC, not a traditional college basketball power, but they've been outstanding all year. They play loose, really, really talented, kind of flying under the radar, probably a little bit of chip on their shoulder by not being a #1. I have,
Ohio State.
Ohio State playing well out of the Big Ten. And I like Oklahoma State as a #4 to get all the way to the Final Four. Again, they have the best pro prospect in the country in Cade Cunningham. They're playing great. Never bet against a team that has the best player in the tournament.
Yeah, a guy can probably take over the game. All right, so I, like you, Gonzaga's undefeated. They tried to become the first team since Bob Knight's 76 Indiana team to run the table. I'm not going out on a limb. I, in fact, having Gonzaga. Texas, Shaka Smart, you mentioned the 2011 VCU Rams, the team I covered. They just won the Big 12. I have fellow Big 12 team Baylor. They're a 1 seed. And then, to be perfectly honest with you, I haven't seen a ton of Houston. I know they won the American, and they've had a good year down there. So I'm forgetting who the 1 seed is in their region.
Texas.
I know, geez, don't I?
You're very popular in Texas right now.
Houston, the 1 seed there is Illinois. Yeah, I don't know. Illinois is not getting a lot of love right now by anyone.
Well, they've got a great pro, the big kid they have from New York City, Cockburn. So, you could definitely make a case for them to be a Final Four team. I like Oklahoma State because they have the best pro prospect.
How do you think the environment of, you've coached in the tournament, how will it be everyone being Indianapolis? Everyone has to get there, quarantine. There's not going to be as much traveling. It'll be a little bit isolating. Does that play in the advantage of one team over another, or is it a pretty equal playing field?
I think it makes it a more equal playing field, to be honest, and they're getting there so much earlier than you normally would. The kids are going to be chomping at the bit to play when the games roll around. It'll be interesting, the feedback you get after the tournament, how it went for the coaches and the kids in that sort of isolating bubble type situation.
How do you think the play will be, the quality of play after this year?
I think it'll be pretty good because, one, you're not traveling. Everybody's being fully rested. The venues are outstanding. So I think the quality of play should be pretty good. All
right, just getting started with Tim O'Shea. He's going to come back. We're going to update on PC and Bryant, both of those teams season ending last week. Much more from the bracket breakdown coming up right after this.